and bring it to the river bank, right up to the river bank where you pick it up. So we did this in 2015. Then 2017, we installed this in 10 locations in a river called Kuvam in Chennai. And as we speak today, this technology is the maximum installed technology in the world, 40 locations from Tawang Valley to Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu. We have installed the longest floating barrier in the world at 192 meters because it's designed with a very low drag force. This has removed the maximum solid waste from the water. In the year 2018, this has removed 22,000 tons of solid waste. It has stopped from reaching the oceans. 10% of that is plastics. 2,165 tons. If you zoom in on Google Earth, you can see all these installations. Now, this 22,000 tons it has removed without using a single drop of fuel. Nil carbon footprint. One more small detail. This costed only 5% of the international technologies. I'm not saying 5% less, I'm saying only 5% of that. And that's also the reason why you didn't hear about it before, because I don't have advertising money for this. This year, we plan to step out to the open sea, use renewable energy from the ocean, and start cleaning the oceans. What makes a person a good innovator? If you imagine yourself standing on the zero of an x-axis, think of all your experience and your knowledge on the minus x side. The school that you went, college that you went to, whatever you've learned, the magazines, the podcasts, all of that. On the plus side, think about it as your uninhibited imagination, the zone of imagination. Now, if you take a seasoned technocrat, he has a lot of experience. His minus x side is very rich, a lot of experience. But he stopped imagining many, many years ago, and that's why he doesn't innovate. You take a small kid, the kid is very comfortable just sitting down and imagining things that has not been taught and they are not seen. But they don't have an understanding what the problem statement. They don't have a connect with the what is required, so they don't innovate. So after many many years of experience, if you still have the bandwidth to go into just sit and imagine things that have not been taught out of the box, just let your imagination go free, let your mind breathe, you will find that you are able to get ideas that can perhaps work. Then come back to the practical side and see whether you can make it work. Now, 30 years back, almost, I can tell you, I was a ship's officer and with a team to go down a ship's tank and clean up the sludge. When I say go down, I mean go down 20 meters through ladders, almost like 7-story building, and it is dark, slippery, it's all greasy, the crude oil. It smells of crude oil, and you go down the ladder, and you have to clean it up. It was all very, very manual. And I remember thinking that time that look, this is no way to clean a crude oil tank sludge. You can have gas any moment, and that can knock you down. And I told myself, nobody makes a robot. One day I am going to make one. And that was 30 years after man had landed on the moon. So I was very, very pissed off. I'm sorry. I was very, very upset. And I said, I'm going to make a robot someday. And now 30 years later, I have made one. And this is the only robot today. Hardly there are 3 robots like this in the world. And this is the only robot that has a pump on the robot. Why? It is slightly technical. I'll quickly finish that. The suction pressure of a pump is decided by nature. You and me cannot change it. It's only 1 bar. We cannot change the suction. We cannot change the vacuum level. We cannot change the atmospheric pressure. And those companies have taken use of using the suction pressure. It's like trying to eat ice cream by sucking on a straw. We put the pump right on the robot and use the discharge pressure. Now, discharge pressure is technology. Today 50 bar, tomorrow 500 bar. That's mankind will keep improving on that. So we did that. So this is to eliminate mandatory risk, is eliminate the long-term health risks. Now we made one more robot. This goes into the neighborhood petrol pump. You know they have underground tanks. This goes inside, cleans those tanks, opens the arms, then cleans those tanks, then closes and again comes up. These are made to eliminate the mandatory risk and the long-term health risks. Now, we believe robotics should help to preserve life, help to reduce this kind of risks. Robotics should go to places like deep sea exploration, space exploration, mine sweeping operations, these kind of applications. Putting a driver of a car out of job and making driverless cars is very low on our priority. I have an unpopular opinion is that innovation is a single man sport. It is not a team effort. It's not a team game. Why I say that is when you're thinking of the design and the iteration, the numerous iterations that keep running inside your mind continuously, every iteration that you think of has got a butterfly effect on the product reliability, on the product features, on the product utility, all of that. They are like continuously moving vectors inside the head. You cannot transpose those moving vectors from one mind to other mind using a two-dimensional screen and some spoken words. Maybe 10 years later, we'll have a Bluetooth connection between the minds and we can transpose it easily. But as of today, this whole thing is best done inside one mind. We developed an ocean wave to electricity converter. Now, this is in the trial state the world over. It is basically the problem of using this wave action and converting to useful forms like the popular method is to pump fluids and the other method is to rotate a shaft. So we managed to rotate a shaft. The image that you see on the right side is those drums and underneath there's a seabed unit. This is IIT Madras indoor wave pool. So we successfully tested it, but we didn't get market traction. So we kept it on the attic and moved on. We designed a wave powered boat, a small boat that has an extraordinary cruising range because it powers itself with the waves. When you're on a roller coaster, you're going up and down. Your stomach is actually following your body with a small time lag. And we use that principle to harness energy for this. The innovation can be split very well into two parts. One is a concept and second is the engineering. Concept is what differentiates one innovation from the other. Concept is what differentiates one innovation from the other. Concept is what gives value to the client. Concept is a product of the imagination of the innovator, how to redefine the problem statement. Engineering is application of knowledge. That is how you make the equipment more reliable with good engineering. My job was mostly my whole productivity was before I get up from my bed in the morning at 6 o'clock with my eyes closed and imagining. And there's so many ideas that come to you. Get up, scribble the design, send it to the team, and they take it from there onwards. So they do that. Mind is fantastic design software, the smartest design software. I believe 90% of the design happens inside the head and only 10% of the shop floor. Don't take shortcut with the 90%. The mind is able to review the design that you plan again and again, and it will tell you where to expect the snacks, rectify that, and then go for the prototyping. It will save you a lot of time and money. The human body and the animal body is some of the best designed machines. Whenever I come to a dark corner in designing, I think of these and it opens up many windows for me. We had to design a robot that had to go over pipelines. And the idea that comes to the mind, the image that comes to the mind automatically is a dog with 6 legs hopping over it without falling down. We had to design a robot that had to go down an industrial column without a straight passage down. the image that comes to my mind is a snake hanging from a tree and turning its face one to the other. We did a small exercise in my office to think how to rescue a baby if it's fallen into an abandoned borewell. You know, we have this problem so many times. The image that comes to the mind is that movie Incredibles, where the woman has got a hand that extends very long and she still has a hand to operate. That's what comes to your mind. Then you come back to the real world and start planning how do you make a robot that does just that. That's how we have been doing all this time. Now, many people have told me, well wishers, they have told me what you're doing, why don't you leave that and do this or that? You can make millions of dollars and all that. My problem is not how to make millions of dollars or whether to make millions of dollars. My problem is different. I have already a lot of gray hair and I have a long list of solutions still to be done. I still want to clean all the rivers that we have. I believe it is possible. I believe you do not have to be Ivy League. I'm as ordinary person as they come. You a lot of old-fashioned hard work with a dose of logic and common sense and a lot of perseverance. An ordinary man can move mountains. Thank you very much.
One thing is very clear that when the man wants to do, the man will do. Thank you very much for sharing that. I, I meant humanity. Sorry. We know you are there in the crowd.
My son has reminded many times, be gender neutral, don't say man, say person. I'm sorry.
Right. I'd love to call Runa Rajiv Kumar. Please come on stage. She's an independent consultant. Ex Tata Steel. Thank you very much. Presentable. Please come.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So this is what happens when you think of solutions that want to impact lives. And the power of love is so amazing to
Thank you.
thank you. Could I invite all the speakers on the stage?
Oh, sorry.
Uh, that reminds very good.
Yeah.
So this is for all the speakers who might have a FOMO later. So
पीछे का गिरा हो गया इन लोग तो रोक नहीं सकता हेड मेरे को बिना हेड का चाहिए ना ये लोग सब फोटो
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break for 15 minutes. We will sound the bell, so you know you're here. So, thank you everyone. Tea is outside. So if we can start the tea, then we can have a conversation. So just have 15 minutes. Thank you very much. The time now
छोड़ दीजिए मेरे
is 11:22. We will start at 11:40.
इसको वो चीज दे देते हैं ये वाला ना इसमें आईपैड ये वो सब दिन बाद चलो आज यूएसबी टाइप यूएसबी टाइप हाँ अब हाँ हो गया ठीक है अब ज्यादा मैडम हाँ है नहीं नहीं हाँ ठीक है नहीं तुम पर हमने सुन ले रिकॉर्डिंग ऐड केबल से ये दिन से हो जाएगा कौन सा है आ तो रहा है आ रहे हैं हाँ ये प्रोटीन क्या होगा ठीक है और उन्हें सोचता है उसका नहीं ऐसे थोड़ी आता वैसा नहीं बीच में तो तुलना पड़ेगा उसमें सचिन तो करें
So how many of you have had the tea? How many of you have had the tea? The hands up.
कोशिश करेंगे कि
Any inspiring thoughts that popped into your head after drinking tea? Something. How can I make this tea better?
Why do you need to make the tea better?
Drink it.
Isn't it already good enough to drink?
That's one thought that went through your head. Thank you. Are we all set to start? Can we have everybody sitting down, please?
जैसे मास्टर जैसे ये समय बनेगा ना तो फिर मिलना है तो हम लोग उसे खेलेंगे कभी छोटे हल्का दिन लेके
So, the three messages that I want to take back from our morning's conversations. The first one is limits are meant to be rewritten. I'm sure Sunil also emphasized that many of you all should also look and see where your limits are or what you see as your limits and how you can rewrite them and then see the difference in the world. Hanuman spoke to us about Larry Brilliant, Daniel Coleman, and many such inspirations to his life, and what got him to change from a moment of rage to love and compassion and bringing kindness into the world, and actually see those transformations happen to hardened criminals and people that we would dismiss. So if it's possible for them, it's possible for everyone sitting in this crowd today. Everyone has their own challenges. Everyone has their own limits. A master on a ship decided to go ahead and use every skill that he had learned from the age of 17 and earlier, and in his years as a shipmaster and a sailor, to impact their lives through the technologies he learned at sea and then innovated and thought about it. How one man can make a difference and create new records in the world. Now, usually, when you think of anatomy, we think of an MBBS student dissecting something and coming about it from different angles, seeing which way your veins run, what are the different structures of your body. But the next speaker is somebody who spent not time as a doctor or a surgeon, but 12 years in marketing, in manufacturing, and 12 years as a consultant. We've all heard of DuPont. DuPont has some nefarious activities which they've done in the past, but they have done such amazing work like the Kevlar suit and so many good things that they've brought into the world. Somebody who spent years with them and now who's going to be talking about the anatomy of transformation. Please welcome Nitin Surendra Sai.
Thank you. Loud and clear? Yeah? No, I don't have anything. So, a large part of 2.5 decades I have spent with organizations and leaders trying to unravel how transformations go about. That is a pretty popular subject amongst various people for various reasons, right? And I have been a part of some, I have led some, I have coached some, I have handholded some. So, what I'm going to share with you today are the learnings which I had from all the variety of experiences about why do we transform, what is actually transformation, and how can we succeed at it. Yeah. So let's start from the beginning, the fundamentals. What is transformation process? What comes to mind? If I look at my childhood, the first thing I saw were comic books, wherein I saw a He-Man or a Superman or a Spider-Man. You know, they would suddenly put on their cape. The Spider-Man will put on his mask and his dress. He will go about saving the world, bashing up the bad boys or the criminals and saving the world. So, is that transformation from Clark Kent to Superman? Is that a transformation? Or Peter to Spider Man? Is that a transformation? Because what's happening there is they have the same kind of powers. So even wearing a white shirt and taking a reporter's job, Clark Kent has the same Superman powers. Only thing is he just dresses up for the occasion. When the time comes to save the world, he puts on a blue spandex suit, a red underwear, and he's ready to save the world. Yeah? So is that transformation? Or going ahead, as you grow up furthermore, you start seeing movies like Transformers. So there's a purpose vehicle, which is a car. And when the enemies come who want to destroy the earth or take over the earth, that car converts into a deadly fighting machine in form of a robot. Is that a transformation? Where extra features come to you, extra skills come to you. If extra skills and power comes to you, would that be a transformation? Or something else. So when I grew up furthermore, something else happened. And this really happened. First, my refrigerator transformed. Yeah. So the story goes, as a bachelor, I had my refrigerator. And what do bachelors have in their refrigerator? Beer cans, pizza from last night party, right? And leftover foods and all, right? That was my refrigerator. And then an event happened. That event was my wedding. And after wedding, a transformation came over my refrigerator. Now it had vegetables, milk. It was a supply of food in the house. So the purpose of the refrigerator from cooling my beers to providing nourishing food or fresh food for the house happened. Is that transformation? Can we say repurposing of a person, of an organization, of a system? Is that transformation? Let's think about it. Further on, when transformations happen, how do they happen? Do they happen just like that? Is it a slow burn process? Do you take months and years to develop into a Superman? Or can you have a Superman with a pot belly who says, okay, I've been wasting my time writing reports. From tomorrow, I'm going to save the world. And then the or the woman becomes better and better at the job. So, how do transformations happen? Do they happen slowly? Do they happen instantaneously? What I've seen is transformations are imposed externally mostly, and those external motivations are very strong. What are those external motivations? Directives from stakeholders, directives from statutory organizations, directives coming from your father, your wife, in personal life, directives which inspire us or compel us to change the purpose of our being. And these happen instantaneously as soon as those impelling directives come. So mostly transformations are instantaneous. You are made aware of your repurpose of life or repurpose of the organization. And the organization willingly, unwillingly accepts it. Transformation has happened, like it or not. The challenge, therefore, is not what transformations, how to come to a transformation, but how to sustain one and how to have a useful life in transformations, right? Because now the transformation has happened. But we all know a Superman with a pot belly, not a very effective person to save the world against mean machines, right? So people then get better of themselves because now they have repurpose. They may have been good at something, but now with the repurpose, are they fit for the new goals? Are they fit for the new directions? That is a part which builds transformation. And if not done rightly, there's a regress. People come out of the transformations. Yeah. So, what are the pitfalls? What happens to people and organizations who are repurposed but cannot handle it for a variety of reasons and come back to their old selves, to their older purpose? What happens to them? One of the one of the dampness which I have seen in sustaining transformation, which is a real killer, is prioritization. For a lot of people, transformative needs are priorities. I've been given the directive of repurposing my organization or my life or my way of thinking. Therefore, let me put it on priority. We are going to be harder in sales. We are going to be more efficient. We are going to be more safer in operations. We are going to be more innovative. These are the directives. Let us transform. That is a priority. Every day we are going to talk about these things with all of us. And we are going to check the progress and it will happen. But what goes wrong when we prioritize is priorities change. Today it's one, tomorrow it's another. That's how dynamic the world is. And when other priorities take over, then your original transformative efforts are sidelined. And therefore, what started as a transformation just becomes a faint memory of something which was tried, not found useful enough to be done.